Welcome to the 4th ASEAN-EU Cooperation and Scholarship Day. You are now in the reception area. Here is the list of events we have prepared for you. Click on the schedule button to get a reminder on your phone or devices. Just dropping in to see what's on? Find this little red button to see which event is currently live and just join the fun. Take the time to explore the expo area and see what have been prepared for you. Here on the booth panel, you can have a one-on-one Q&A session with our exhibitors. Download all the information that interests you, join workshops and sessions, or try out the games. Each session also has its own booth panel for you to interact with the speakers. To have a conversation with an expo representative, click Share Video and Audio. The booth moderator will allow you to have a conversation with them. Have something to say? Head on over to the Voice of Youth booth. Pick your virtual background and overlay and say it with a photo or video. Don't forget to follow and tag at EU in ASEAN when you post it on social media. You might be the lucky winner to get a special hamper from the EU. We're so excited to have you here, and we'll
Sorry. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and welcome to the 4th ASEAN-EU Cooperation and Scholarship Day 2021. My name is Nabila Ernada and I will be your moderator this session. Today, we'll be talking about circular economy and sustainable fashion. Now, what do those two words mean and how do they interconnect? In this session, we will break down what exactly circular economy is and how fashion, when sustainable, actually fits perfectly within the concept. So before we begin, allow me to introduce to you our exciting panelists who will lead the discussion. The first is Dr. Magnus Benson, an international sustainability expert advising governments and organizations on policies related to consumption, production, and circular economy. He has lived and worked in Asia for close to 20 years. And as of today, Dr. Magnus is assisting the establishment of an ASEAN platform for circular economy. He also facilitates the EU-Indonesia cooperation on circular economy, as well as supporting the Leo PDR on policies to address single-use plastics. Second, we will be joined by Wishu Lada, a social activist artist from Bangkok, Thailand, who turns trash into treasured arts. The products crafted by Wishu Lada are all made from varieties of waste materials as well as craftworks. She strongly believes that art can help reduce environmental problems. Her products act as mouthpieces to communicate and motivate the society to be more concerned about environment and to also advise us to use the resources we have more effectively. And last, we will be joined by Kea De La Rosa from Indonesia, the co-founder for the sustainable fashion brand Sisa Benang. Sisa Benang supports the circular economy concept by sourcing raw materials by reprocessing leftover fabrics. In addition to the upcycled quality fabrics, Sisa Benang also continues to create products that support the environment by creating the Tumbuh Satu Tumbuh Seribu movement, where one mangrove tree will be planted each time one product of Sisa Benang is bought. So, welcome guests. Welcome everyone and welcome all our panelists. Hello. Hi everyone.
Hello. Hi.
I'm so excited to be here today. I hope you guys are too. So first up, maybe, just to keep me in the loop and everyone else in the audience, I would really like to know more about what circular economy is. Maybe Magnus, you can help answer this question.
Thank you, Nabila. And yeah, sure. The easiest way maybe to explain a circular economy is to start with what it's not. the kind of economy we have currently is sometimes called a linear economy because it has a very huge dependence on natural resources. We dig up materials from the earth, we produce fibers and other products, materials, and then we make them into products. We are talking about textiles and fashion here today. So we make them into garments. Often those products are made to last only for a very short period of time. They quickly get thrown away, and we generate huge amounts of waste. So that's a kind of linear model with an increasing throughput of materials year by year. And this huge use of materials is driving emissions of greenhouse gases, consumption of energy, pollution, and it's pushing back nature. So it has all kinds of harmful impacts. What we are trying to do with the circular economy is to shift away from this high dependence of new natural resources by consuming less, by really thinking about what's necessary, to make sure that things are designed in such a way that they can be used for a long time, and that they are high quality products, and that things can be reused and that they can be repaired. Usually the kind of things we produce today, they are not really made to be repaired. Repair is often costly and not so easy to access. And at the end of the day, when things finally turn into waste, because at the end of the day, we will still have a certain amount of waste, things need to be designed in such a way that we can recycle the material so that they can go back and become new products. We see already quite a lot of recycling happening, but not so much in the textiles industry. And the kind of recycling that is happening is often of a very low quality. So the products the materials that come out of these recycling processes, they cannot really replace new materials in a useful way. So we need to work at all of these stages with the design of products, the way we use products for a longer time, repair, and also recycling. The whole value chain needs to be shifted quite drastically compared to what we have currently.
All right. So it's basically looking at it from a holistic point of view. You want to involve absolutely everything from the design aspect to the end product. I've also read a lot about the 9 Rs. Maybe you could talk a bit of that to me, because I know that there's the 3 Rs, reduce, reuse, and recycle. But I've heard a lot about this 9R concept within circular economy.
Yeah, some people use that as a catchy model to illustrate what circular economy practices are about. Many people have heard, as you say, of the 3 Rs, but the 3 Rs, they tend to be very much about, so what can we do with things once they have become waste? But we need to start much earlier. As I said before, we need to rethink the need for new products. We need to think, can we replace physical products, maybe with some services instead that don't require any materials at all or much fewer resources. And we need to redesign, as I said before, products, and we need to work with approaches such as reuse and refurbishment, that you remake things. For example, clothes, since we are talking about fashion, if there is something that doesn't feel so attractive anymore, that we can remake it into something that we would like to wear instead. So it's an expansion that circular economy is something much broader than just waste management and recycling, which the 3 Rs often stand for. And you can learn more about that in the booth that we have available here in the conference.
I think what I'm hearing when we're talking about 9R or circular economy is that there's a lot of innovation and creativity that can be put towards reusing different materials. So maybe I'm going to hand this question to Kea, who is the co-founder of Sisa Benang. I'm sure you've probably heard of the 9R concept before. Maybe you can talk about how that fits in with your sustainable fashion brand, and what does it exactly mean being a fashion brand that is sustainable?
Okay, thank you, Nabila. I've heard about nine R's, and in my opinion, nine R's is the extension of three R's to achieve sustainable lifestyle. Together with nine R's that stands for rethink, refuse, reduce, recycle, reuse, replace, and repair, we can practice to change our style to be less waste. So the next question is why is sustainable fashion today is so important? According to the data that we researched before, sustainable fashion is a responsible mindset system that considers the environmental and social impacts. For example, the workers and the economy on the entire product life cycle, starting from the pre-production stage, production process, distribution, and also post-production. Sustainable fashion movement is caused by the negative impacts from the fast fashion. We already know fast fashion is the cheap mass production of trending clothing. There are huge negative impacts from environmental, also for workers' lives, like landfill pollution. Not only that, water pollution, and in addition to pollution, fast fashion companies also exploit their overseas workers to maximize profit. Their workers are children, and 90% of their workers are underage women. Also, they are subjected to dangerous working conditions with no benefits and no protection. So, how about in Indonesia? Today, many local brands in Indonesia are being transparent about the fabric that they are using, how they produce the product, how they get the materials, and it helps us customers to be mindful and conscious buying. When we talk about fashion industry, there are two main categories, pre-consumer and post-production. In post-production, the concern is the leftover fabric garments in store because of overbuying or overproduction. But on the other hand, brands usually not accept the rest of this leftover fabric because of limited quantity. Because we already know big brands only produce their product with mass production, not in small products. Hence, Sisa Benang is trying to upcycling this remaining fabric by making it to a new product with high quality, of course with affordable prices. We also encourage our customer to be mindful and to be impactful for environment by planting one mangrove tree from each product they purchase. We do collaborating with Lindungi Hutan. That is one of local environmental community. We have been planted 359 mangroves in 1 year. For this reason, I see that the problem in post-production that I have concern on. So I decide, me and my friends, decide to create this Benang brand with hope that people who are just like me to start learn and to start switch into stable fashion, selling buy clothing products which are upcycled at affordable prices. We come with limited pieces because of limited quantity of leftover fabrics. So hopefully the message to reduce negative impacts on the environment can be reached by more people. That is my journey to switch into sustainable fashion and also to decide to make my own brand, Nadia.
That's great. I've always heard the stories about fast fashion and how how actually dangerous it is for the
Yes.
environment and also
Mm.
the labor workers. So I'm really happy now that there's a lot of local brands in Indonesia or in ASEAN that work specifically on sustainable lines. And I think it's good because you have the product, but you're also teaching the customers and advocating to sort of make the shift and be more comfortable with using something like, I guess, not waste fabric, but
Yeah.
recycled fabrics.
Yes. Like I do as upcycle.
Upcycling, yes. That's a very
Yes.
trendy word that I've heard this year, and I'm happy about it.
Yes,
So
thank you, Nabila.
I think I would like to ask Vishulada a question. I think it's upcycling too, but in this form, it's more on art. I really want to find out more about your journey as being an activist artist and when you got the first idea to turn trash or turn waste into a really beautiful art piece. So, Vishulada, Yeah, go on.
Yes. I am inspired from everything all around me at home. And my first God idea is from my family since I was young. There are many methods that my family used to handle with waste materials, such as my dad always repair every broken things instead of buying a new ones. And we usually collected plastic coffee cups or plastic containers to reuse, and I learned to separate newspaper, use the paper and plastic bottles and some electronic device or metal and sell them to the old things buyer. And I got inspiration from a play game. I like watching animal documentary or the fantasy movie, and I like a window display at a shopping mall. And moreover, my hobby is to take a walk in a construction material store such as a Home Pro, IKEA, to look around the construction material and get inspiration from their shape, especially the unusual shape and colorful ones. In my opinion, all of my interested games, movie, window display, and my family, it will always inspire me to turn trash in this beautiful art piece. And my work concept is related with the environmental more than 8 years from my graduation project to the present that I intentionally use waste material to create my artwork with my belief that the art is an instrument to change the people's idea. And artwork is a useful channel to convey ideas and message from the artist to the audience. I would like to make awareness about how does reuse material valuable based on the principle of circular economy system and make inspiration about waste material management such as reuse, reduce, and upcycle. This changing can reduce natural resources consumption and waste. I believe that when people idea is changed, lifestyle will be changed. And finally, the environmental issue can be solved. I would like my art to be an indicator for waste material in each area and reflect the quantity no the quantity of natural resources consumption of people in that areas. And moreover, I would like to make an awareness for the people in the society about the waste materials uh, management, add more value from waste material and create the circular economic system in art and in lifestyle product. So I believe that the craft work, the creativity, and the craftsmanship can transform the waste material to be useful and valuable. And moreover, product of me are mouthpiece to communicate and motivate the social to concern more about environmental issue and using the resources more effective and distributing profit toward the social. Mhm.
Wow. So there are two main points here. I really love that it started all from habits around the house. I know my mom does the same thing to my clothing, but it just ends up being a rag. We don't ever turn it into art, but I love what you're doing there and how you're using it as a sort of tool to assess how much waste a region is consuming and what shapes and what sort of waste do they usually have. And I think that's great because we really can start, seeing is believing. And when you start looking at it, and especially in a form that you put it, we can really just see, wow, that's a lot of things that we're wasting. So I'm going to hand this back to Magnus. I just want to ask if you could categorize what Wishulada and Kea are doing within the 9R concept within circular economy. How would you do that?
Yeah, thank you. And thanks to Kea and Vishulada for introducing the amazing work you are doing. I think it's very inspiring. Really, really nice to see. And the work that Kea is doing is her products are more replacing conventional products. So instead of buying a conventional dress or something from a big brand store, people are buying from her store instead. And by doing that, they are reducing the amount of waste and reducing the need for producing new textiles. So that's a very good illustration of a circularity principle. Most of what Visualada showed is a bit different. They are, as you said, of course, mostly art products. They are not meant to be maybe used as such in our daily lives. Some of them, I saw the backpacks and so on, are products that can replace conventional products, but some of them are maybe more made for fun and they are more outrageous and something that we wouldn't maybe feel comfortable wearing when we go to school or to work. But they can serve a very important function to raise awareness. So rather than replacing conventional products, they make people more aware and think more about what we are actually buying and how we are using the things that we are buying. So I think that these are two great illustrations of how one can try to change mindsets and consumption behavior around fashion.
Yeah, I think that's great. I really hope the audience here get inspired to perhaps create or even just start consuming products that are already under the circular economy line. And I'm sure there's much more than Sisa Benang as well. So coming here as a consumer myself, I want to ask Kea and Wishulada a bit more on your fashion principles. What about you guys? How often do you buy your clothes, and what are the main considerations when you want to purchase a new outfit or a fashion piece? What do you usually think of? Vishulada, maybe first?
Oh, me? Okay, me first. Okay. I buy a clothes when I need them or when I see something I like. In average, I buy a clothes every 4 months. Main consideration when I buy a clothes is first, I am interested and support a local fashion, Thai designer or Thai community to create a clothes or the bag or the shoes. And I like a vintage second-hand clothes because it is a unique style and it is enjoyable to mix and match my style. It is a unique form of self-expression. And I think before I buy, I am a consideration from how many times will I wear this. And I now evaluate item on a cost per wear basis. Is this something I will want to wear all the times? So I think the clothes is very comfortable when I wear this because it is easy to mix and match clothes and a shoe for many occasions. When I buy a clothes, I buy the quality so they usually last like a very long times. But I do inspect my closet every year to see if there is any clothes that I need to get rid of. As for getting rid of old clothes, I normally get rid of them when I'm borrowing them anymore for something I do not like anymore but still in a good shape. I usually give them away to a donation for people in need, such as a woman foundation, a kids foundation. As for the worn out one, I use them as a rug at my home and cut it for the stock material for creating installation art and lifestyle product of visual bag.
Great. I think that's a new mantra for everyone here. How many times will I wear it? So every time we want to buy something, we're considering the quality and the wear. And I think it's really good that we're sourcing fashion pieces locally. So you want to buy from local Thai designers and the community. And I think buying local is always the way to go. So Kea, what are your fashion principles when you do some shopping?
Okay, thank you, Nabila. The answer maybe look like Vishulada, but my principle that I hold for buying new clothes is one in and one out. So when I decide
Nope.
to buy
I think Kea is breaking up a bit. Okay. All right. I heard one thing, and I hope we can go back to it. But I heard
clothes in my
hi. Sorry. So I heard one thing from Kea, one in and one out. Is that right?
Yes, it's right.
Yeah. So we can. Do you want to maybe explain this in just a couple of seconds, couple of minutes about one in and one out, and I can go to the next question.
Okay, one in is one out. That I mean is when I have to buy one things that probably that I really wanted because it suit my style. So I have to donate another one my coat that I not usually use again, or I will sell it. So I have to give it to my family member or my friends of mine, and I prefer to borrow from a friend of mine if it's come to when I have to decide to go to the formal dresses. So far, it has been working well for me and helped me to practice mindfulness and conscious buying, Nabila.
Great. I think that's a good tip for everyone there if you want to contribute more towards a sustainable fashion or circular economy notion. So I think both Vishulada and Kaya had really great input. Since we talked about the circular economy and local sustainable fashion in Indonesia, I wanted to just ask Vishulada if you could tell us a bit more about the circular economy in Thailand.
At Circular Economy in Thailand at present, the Thai entrepreneur and designer featured the production from upstream, midstream, and downstream with more environmental consideration, and it can be seen that they start to reduce chemical uses and use renewable energy in the production process. There are the combination of the Thai wisdom, the craftsmanship, and innovation of waste material fiber, and organizing various design contests, which include environmental concept. In education section, there are subjects related to environmental and material handling course of bachelor degree in the Faculty of Design and Art. And moreover, the media in Thailand support the advertising and promote fashion entrepreneurs who are more environmental conscious. As a result, that there are some fashion trends such as DIY clothes and personal item clothing swap and mix and match second-hand clothes to create their style. So, and I think we should make environmental issue more enjoyable, easy to understanding, and everyone handle it in order to mold and cultivate consciousness and create awareness among youth and society. So I think we can reduce the persecution like outer life with the sufficiency consumption and realize think a value with reusing or add more value for waste material and replace material with a reasonable price or the practical innovation to reduce the invasion of nature. Thus, it is all topic to reduce the of waste from all material and from all industry.
Again, the approach is very similar to the circular economy concept as well. You need to kind of pinpoint all the sections, and in Thailand you have media, schools, and I think the advocacy and the education aspect of this is equally as important as the creativity and innovation that we do afterwards. So this discussion, I think, is very interesting. And if any of you want to continue talking about the circular economy or reading up more about it with our dear Magnus, he's available at the eReady Expo booth, and he will be there for a live Q&A. So if anyone wants to get any questions answered, you guys can head on to the Expo booth there. There's also a lot of fact sheets on circular economy, so you guys can also learn a lot of other things that might not have been mentioned in this talk. And before I wrap up, I would like to sort of get some final words from our panelists to see if they have anything that they want to say that touch bases on the topic of circular economy and sustainable fashion. Perhaps from Magnus first?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I understand that we have many young people in the audience here today. Many are university students, and we have been talking mainly about sustainable fashion and circular economy from the viewpoint of what we can do as consumers. But I see that more and more companies are also coming on board and getting interested in adopting circular economy principles, and there are increasing expectations on them to do so. Um, so when you eventually graduate and start looking for a job, many companies will expect that you have a good understanding of sustainability issues and know about things like circular economy and have some basic skills and an understanding of how to turn this into business reality. So while you're at school, make sure to equip yourself with the knowledge that you need to be competitive in the new labor market that really requires these skills and this knowledge.
Thank you, Magnus. Kea, do you have any last words?
Okay, thank you, Nabila. At first, when we are talking about sustainable fashion, one thing that we usually misunderstood is that we focus too much on buying clothes from sustainable brands instead of we are wearing our clothes we already own. If you don't have anywhere clue where to start your journey to switch into sustainable fashion, we can do from the start. That is our we do decluttering your closet. And please remember, by switching our style into sustainable fashion, we don't only take a part to reduce waste and environmental pollution, but most importantly, you are ensuring that clothing you choose to spend your money on hasn't taken advantage of workers or used child labor. Everybody's take their own part, so we need to go together, hand in hand, to achieve sustainable fashion for a better people and Mama Earth. Thank you, Nadia.
Thank you, Kea. And last, Wishulada, any last words?
Okay, so I think I would like to advise for the young chain maker, you must have the confidence to think out of the box and take a challenge, work with determination and make difference and just do it and learn from your success and mistake and don't forget to care the environment, don't forget to protect your earth because of the climate change is an issue that we mentioned since long times ago and is still continuously more seriously concerned each year. This problem cannot be solved just by one group of people, but we need to everyone help. Mhm.
That's great. I think, at least from my end, I learned a lot about it's a collaborative effort. There's a lot of education aspect that needs to put in here, and we really need to all sort of be putting our heads together and either learning, advocating, or doing what Vishulada or Kea are doing, and sort of adding into the circular economy. So thank you so much to all our speakers. For the audience today, our speakers are available to chat on the comment section. So if you have any live Q&As, you can talk to them there, and they will be happily answering any of the questions via chat. There's still a bunch of exciting talks for you to see and the interactive booths at the expo. And there's also a competition. So if you'd like to take pictures of your sustainable fashion pieces, go ahead and post them on your social media and tag EU in ASEAN. And then you might be in the running to get a special hamper from us. So that's it for today, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.